I'm very pleased to be interviewing Greg Varhely. Greg, thank you for your time today.
No problem.
So let's start with your background.
Well, I have over 20 years in the TV media industry. The first half of my career I spent in what was then linear or over-the-air TV. About 12 years ago, I moved into digital media, advanced platform, whatever we want to call it, and I knew right away that it was going to be something that not only changed the industry, but I think changed society as a whole. The ability to watch what content you want, when you want it, on what device is huge. And I spent the last 12, 13 years in developing products and developing workflows and operations in distributing this content.
Can you go into some specifics about what you worked on?
Sure. In the first few years, it was a lot of sort of R&D, research and development kind of products. We launched things like an enhanced channel, which was part of a cable service that is basically looked like an app. Today's apps. We launched several SVOD services, subscription video on demand. They were probably products ahead of their time because I don't think consumers are ready. They didn't really quite understand on demand, and therefore I don't think they were ready to pay extra for it. But we learned a lot about how to create the content packages and distribute them, and some of the marketing campaigns that worked and some didn't. And as the on-demand set-top box on-demand world grew in popularity, what happened was the complexity of it grew as well. More functionality came with it, and now the last few years with this kind of content being distributed on multiple platforms, multiple devices, just when you think there can't be any more, what's coming next? And that makes it very challenging, but also very exciting.
So in thinking about the early days of video on demand and video on demand today, what would you say were the major changes that facilitated its rollout? Is it consumer attitude? Is it technology? What would you say?
Well, I think the one thing the industry did right with set-top box video on demand is that we set standardizations or specifications. Most of the cable operators all followed the same file format, the same metadata schema, the same artwork. As the satellite companies and telcos came on, they deviated a little bit, and it was a challenge for them because for content providers, it was difficult to create multiple versions of this content. The revenue wasn't coming in, so you want to continue to develop it and you want to continue to operate and supply it, but if you're not making money on it, you can't put too much resources against it. So we had to be a very lean, mean operating machine. Since on-demand became much more popular with consumers and the usage started going up, some of the changes that happened were the biggest thing has been dynamic ad insertion. The ability to put not only paid ads but promos in the on-demand content. Even today, there's still much of the inventory going unmonetized, and it's pretty shocking some of the numbers I've seen of how much inventory is not being utilized compared to what the inventory is on linear TV. The same show on linear has much more inventory than what's being utilized on demand.